In the studio to discuss restructuring with me today, I'm very pleased to have distinguished Senator Victor Ume of the All Progressives Grand Alliance. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program.
Thank you, Kadara.
Honorable Mark Bila of the All Progressives Congress is also here with us. Thank you very much, sir, for coming.
Pleasure is all mine, Kadria.
Thank you. Mr. Tokwe Fashoa is the chairman of the Abundant Renewal Nigeria Party, one of the new parties in the country. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much, Kadaria.
And Dr. Akin Fakbunda, who represents the think tank Voice of Reason. Thank you for coming as well.
Good evening, viewers.
Yes, sir. Now, if I could start with you, distinguished Senator. We heard in that report the fact that restructuring means different things to different people, and every time you begin a conversation about restructuring, you're bound to hear all sorts of things. So let me ask you, what does restructuring mean to ABGA? And does ABGA consider restructuring an imperative for Nigeria today?
Well, thank you very much. I think we need to look at the word itself, restructuring. And from the intro you made, it's obvious that we had a structure sometime, and we have a structure presently. And there's a very large consensus that the structure we have now is not giving us what we want. And the clamor to restructure has been across board, except that some people are very impervious to it. But one will want to say that when you have a structure you are running and things are not going well, there will be need looking forward for into the future.
Let's look at specifics.
To rearrange the framework, the administrative framework of the country. Like you said,
so specifically, ABGA's position regarding what needs to change is what exactly? What are the things that you think would be tweaked for you for a new structure to work?
Well, it's not something that you can pigeonhole into one reason. One thing is to have a historical perspective to what we have had and what we have presently. Like you said, restructuring means different things to different people. The people see the need for restructuring from their own perspectives. You know, looking at what we have now, compared to what we had before the military took over Nigeria in 1967, 66, then 67 finally. Before then, we had regional arrangements. We had in the main 3 regions before.
Would like to go back to that?
We want a number of options to what we have to presently now.
Okay,
what we have presently, we need to look at the political structure Nigeria is operating. Like I said, initially we had 3 regions, later 4. And at that time, Nigeria was functioning very well.
Okay, so
and now, the military
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm struggling to get you to tell us. No, I know.
So that I tell you why we consider restructuring in some perspectives very important.
Okay, sir.
Yes, one is that before the military took over the reins of power in Nigeria, we had 4 regions created through civilian processes and parliamentary processes. When the military came, the 4 regions were disbanded, and states were created, starting from 12, with successive military regimes. We now have 36 states. And all these 36 states, none was created through a civilian parliamentary process, except that in the morning you wake up, the head of state will announce new states have been created. And people have been dislodged from where they were, moved to another place, and so on and so forth. And with decrees, these states were established. And by the time we arrived in 1999, we inherited 36 states and 774 local governments, all created without any form of consultation, except by military fiat. And we have lumped all this into a constitution which we have now presently, there shall be 36 states in the Federation of Nigeria, and the schedule contains these 36 states.
Okay, so
there shall be
starting
774 local governments. I'm coming.
No,
when the states were created,
I have 4 other
they
people
will come in. But let me take this one as a key one.
Okay.
Why, to us in ABGA, we feel that restructuring is imperative.
Okay.
When the states and local governments were created, they were not created with an even parameter where you say this number of local governments will come from here, this number of states will come from here.
So for ABGA, state creation is an imperative.
Yes, we believe that
East.
some people have been disadvantaged through the process of creation of states by the military.
Okay.
Like in my zone where I come from, we have 5 states.
Okay,
we have 95 local governments.
So for the states, for example, ABGA is not saying dismantle the state government, is that make it more equitable?
Yes, make things more equitable. Okay. Like that I was in the national conference, these reports have been given here. And in that national conference, we agreed, like Ozokome told you, consensually, that the Southeast should be given one additional state.
Okay, let me bring in Honorable Bila here. What are your thoughts regarding restructuring, particularly given that your party has had a committee that has sat down and come up with a document that is supposed to outline what they think their recommendations are and what they think should happen?
Okay, in my opinion, restructuring is a culmination of an enduring clamor by Nigerians for our country to function, because of the fact that we perceive the way we're currently composed and structured isn't working as a nation. Now, our party, the APC, recognizes that, which is why that committee was constituted and came up with the positions and the recommendations that they made. Now, the concern for some of us is the lack of engagement of the requisite institution to bring these recommendations
So this is
fruition.
engagement with the document that has been produced, or are you saying you're not convinced that what has been produced is going to materialize? I want to try and understand what you're saying.
Okay, no, now definitely there are certain